Good morning. So I'm Sarah O'Kelly with Skipper's Review, and I am here at the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show on this amazing Saturday morning, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Basically, waiting for the droves to start pouring in. And I'm here with Bob Denison from Denison Yacht Sales.
Hello.
Welcome to Boat Radio.
Thank you so much. This is awesome, and I'm psyched to do this.
Well, it is a pleasure to have you. I know how crazy a weekend it is, and
Yes.
Saturday being, I'm sure, going to be your craziest.
Yeah,
right?
this is going to be probably one of the busiest days of the show for sure. Saturday and Sunday are usually pretty packed.
Well, I do want to point out that I did give Bob a pick of days, and he chose today. So
Yes. So this is my fault.
This is his life.
Yes, exactly.
Craziness.
Yes.
Speaking of craziness, I was thinking last night of stuff to ask you, and the one that really struck me most was, how do you do it? I mean, you have, from what I can take, 20 of your establishments spread across the country.
Right.
Are you in charge of all of these?
Yeah, so we have 20 brick and mortar offices around the U.S. and hopefully some of the best boating towns in America. And I do directly oversee them with, obviously, with other people that help. Mm-hmm. And we are really grateful for a good admin, marketing, and leadership team that helps get that done. So I'd love to take all the credit for it, but realistically, I should take about this much credit for it because there's a lot of people around me that really help do the heavy lifting.
And that has been a big part of it with you, is that you don't compete with your brokers. You, in fact, you just get the phone to ring and get the business to come in the door.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I always felt a little weird about competing with the guys that work with us. It just didn't seem like a great way to establish a long-term business. There are firms that do that are actually very successful, and that works for them. For us, it just provides a real peace of mind for the brokers and for the people that work here, knowing that if a lead comes in, then I'm not going to try to grab the thing, you know?
Of course. Because if I'm looking for a boat and I happen to know that you're a broker and you have Denison Yacht, they're going to want you.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Right. So I understand
it's a natural temptation, and about 10 years ago, I decided never to take another lead again, and I'm really grateful for that. Mainly because I'm not that great of a salesperson. So
really?
as much as I would have liked to have pretended that I could have been successful, I honestly probably would have screwed most of those deals up.
Well, what do you think takes a good salesperson?
A good salesperson is somebody that is able to truly provide value in a transaction. This is specific to boating. It's somebody that really understands what the customer wants and tries to figure out how to navigate through some choppy waters and make sure that there's a smooth transaction, not only with finding the right boat, but also the right people to connect that transaction to a smooth closing.
And you're terrible at that.
Yeah, well, not that specifically, although I probably am not great at that either. But I just don't have the type of personality, I think, and the type of discipline to
I completely understand. I would be
to
awful
do that.
too.
So
Right.
my strengths live elsewhere, and I like to think I'm good at other stuff, like marketing and management and things like that. And I leave the sales stuff up to the guys that are much handsomer and just better at communicating than I am.
So he only hires handsome guys. But,
and pretty girls.
And pretty girls.
Yeah.
Okay. So
You've got to be great looking to work here.
No lawsuit in there at all.
Yeah.
So your father has been doing this, and your grandfather, is that right? And
Yeah, well, they didn't really do this. So my grandfather did something
no,
much
but you're
cooler.
specifically doing, but
Yeah, so my grandfather and my dad and my two uncles were involved in the construction of boats for a long time. So since 1948.
creative end.
Yeah, that was actually my grandparents' honeymoon. They came down here in 1948, and somehow my grandfather and grandmother decided that on that trip, on their honeymoon, they would buy a shipyard down here, which is amazing to even think about, because when I went on my honeymoon, I wasn't allowed to even check my email. So the fact that they pulled that off is incredible. And they started building boats back then, and that legacy continued through right around 99. And at that point, the shipyard was sold, and that happened to be the year that I graduated from college. and I really wanted to get in the business, so I just decided to jump into the sales and brokerage side of it.
And you went to business, right? You took business at college?
Yeah, so I went to
Miami?
a small, humble university here in Florida called the University of Miami, and it was a place where I got a marketing and a management degree, and it definitely, helped sort of build some of those disciplines in building a business that made some of this stuff possible.
When you were a kid, you worked you started like in the warehouses and everything else, but you
Yeah.
also had access to all these mega yachts. How do you think that designed you in your life to end up where you are? Did it make you feel that this is something that you definitely want to be in or you want to get away from?
A little bit of both. I mean, there's certain days and certain periods of my life where I thought that being in the boating and yachting industry was one of the coolest things anybody could do, and that was a sincere desire. And I, of course, enjoy the water and like boats. And there's other times where I absolutely think it's the worst and dumbest way to make a living, just because of certain frustrations that come along with any business.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's been a very sincere desire to connect people to boats and help be part of that, part of their story where they buy this thing that allows them to connect with the water and people around them and their family. And that's been a real honor.
What about that, the fact that it has kind of a reputation, I think kind of like what golf had a reputation of for a while, of it being very kind of snooty business, or not business,
Yeah,
but
I freaking hate that. That's
area.
the worst. Yeah. So there probably is a little bit of a perception of that. I think that some of that perception is probably a little bit true. I think the vast majority of it is totally false. Most people, even on the really, really big boats, the super yachts, and of course down to the smaller sailboats and the trawlers, there's one consistent thread, and that is those people are real people, real families that are crazy enough to take this bit of money, whether it's big or small, and put it towards something that doesn't seemingly make any sense other than just this special thing.
It's not
that
a
can,
good business decision.
yeah,
to buy a
totally.
boat.
It's like a one of those items that has no there's no I have to have this or I will die type of like water or any kind of commodity. And this thing called boating is very, very, very much one of those things that is very unique to just having a great time, escaping, connecting with people. And those people that do it are real people. It's a lot of families. There's a lot of people that buy a boat, not to try to hang out with J-Lo or whatever, but to just hopefully inspire their kids to put down their cell phone. And that's an easier thing to do on the boat than anywhere else. Now that I have a little boy, he seriously is only 2 years old and he's already grabbing my cell phone. And when he goes out on a boat, he's not interested in the cell phone. So I think that's the draw of boating, is that it is that place where children and other people around you are less attracted to phones and computers and more attracted to the people around them and the water and all that stuff. So anyway, the snooty part of boating is probably a misconception furthered by just tabloid stuff. The vast majority of marinas are filled with really, really great people that just love to connect with each other.
And the rivalry between motorboats, sailboats, fishing boats.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. I mean, I think most people, whether it's a sailboat or a motorboat or a fishing boat or a big super yacht, really do have a lot more respect for each other than they do have differences. There's probably friendly rivalries that do exist there, but it's almost all the time very, very good natured.
The one core being everybody loves the water.
Yeah, everybody loves the water, and everybody is sort of crazy. So you have crazy people that love the water that do this, and it's a little bit of a brotherhood.
What is it that gets you out of bed in the morning? What is the one thing that you feel that really excites you about what you're doing?
Well, literally the one thing that gets me out of the bed in the morning is coffee. Right after Rivers, my 2-year-old, jums on me and claws at my face. It's my new alarm clock. So he gets me out, and then the thing that I get excited about is building this business and providing our brokers and this community of people at Denison to excel. at helping people find the right boat, and hopefully this is our big thing, is to add value during that transaction. And it drives me freaking crazy to ever be a company that's not pushing themselves, that's not trying to figure out how we can add value, how we can make things better for our clients. And one of the things we talk about a lot is that hurts. There's an inconvenience for us as brokers and for us as a company to serve clients well. Whether that's getting up early on a Saturday to go show a boat, or showing up an hour early before showing to make sure everything's set up all right. That kind of thing gets me excited, and there's not a lot of firms doing that kind of thing. I mean, there's certainly some.
Customer service.
Yeah, I mean, but the type of customer service where it kind of sucks to be the guy providing it. A little bit, it kind of hurts, but hopefully at the end of the day, it makes the buying or the selling process a little bit better for our clients.
And so you're married.
I am.
And when does your wife see you?
My wife
Midnight?
sees me a lot because she actually helps build this thing with me. So I got really, really lucky, and it was a little bit of a strategic decision, but I fell in love with a woman that loves design and marketing, and she is somebody that helps complement that part of our business, and it's a fun thing. We get to spend a lot of time together trying to figure out how to do this thing right.
Well, that turned out really, really well, because you would never have seen her otherwise.
Totally, yeah. So I when I found out she was a graphic designer, I was like, we need to get this done. That's when I started combing my hair. I shaved my beard, and I just tried to. I started working out for a few weeks, and somehow
showed up at her door in a boat.
Yes, something like that. And she said, "Man, that guy is awesome. Let's do this." And of course, she was wrong, but it worked out.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
I'm going
you.
to let you get to work and do your thing.
Thanks a lot.
And I look forward to seeing what else is to come.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.